Most people buy the wrong business because they don't score their deal. If you want to avoid a bad acquisition, you need to follow this deal criteria. So we've developed a framework we call the Fleming ETA Deal Index. Now there are 9 factors that go into one score. We're covering one at a time. Today is factor number 7 out of 9, valuation. Now, valuation is going to be the multiple of cash flow that you're paying to buy a business, not the price that you're paying to buy a business. And this criteria is based on trying to figure out if the price you're paying matches the risk that you're taking. And buying a business just isn't about just finding the business with the lowest multiple. Warren Buffett has a great quote on this. It's better to buy a wonderful business at a fair price than a fair business at a wonderful price. And this criteria applies directly to small businesses. Some businesses should trade at higher valuations than others. And this criteria, it's not about determining market values. You're going to need to look at direct peer comps to determine the market value. It's about determining trade-offs. So a business that's going to score a perfect score on our other 8 criteria, we're going to expect that to have a high valuation. And something that has a low score on our other criteria, we'd expect that to have a low valuation. So it's just measuring the pros and cons of a deal and knowing that there's no such thing as a perfect deal. But when push comes to shove, you should feel a lot more comfortable paying up for a business that scores perfectly on 8 out of the 9 criteria than you should looking for a business that scores poorly but has a very cheap valuation. And this is typically best for businesses between the $2 to $6 million sale price range. So a 5 is going to be any business that you can buy for less than 2.8 times seller discretionary earnings. Now, this is a very low valuation. It can come from an off-market deal, or maybe you're buying in an industry where it requires a very unique buyer type, and you happen to fit that criteria. Now, a 4 is going to be between 2.9 and 3.5 times. A 3 is going to be something between 3.5 and 4.2 times. This is typically a market rate that you might see in this space. There's nothing wrong with paying this price unless the deal is weak in lots of areas. A 2 is going to be between 4.3 and 5 times. This is going to be very premium pricing. It's going to be hard to justify that premium. And also, it's harder to finance through the SBA. It's hard to finance things much more than 4 times. And a 1 is going to be anything more than 5 times SDE. You need to make sure the business justifies paying that higher valuation. You're also likely going to have to bring in more equity just because of the SBA making it difficult to buy these businesses on a fully levered deal. Valuation, it's not about just finding the cheapest business. It's about finding a business that's valuation matches the risk and operational structure of the business. So if you want to see how your deal scores on valuation and our other 8 criteria, check the link in our bio to go check out the Fleming Deal Index.